දසනකාන්තී චූර්ණය සහිත ලීවර් ආයුෂ් දන්තාලේපය දත්වල ඇති ප්‍රශ්න 10ක් වළකයි.
අද අපේ රටේ ආර්ථිකය හා මූල්‍ය තත්ත්වය පවතින්නේ සාමාන්‍ය මට්ටමකින් නෙවෙයි.
Our country's economic and financial situation isn't normal at the moment. I was able to carry out discussions with the Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Hsien Loong. Our trade agreement with Singapore was not affected. The country will benefit enormously if we are able to revive the agreement with Singapore. Japan has also given us the green light on their willingness to act as the co-chairman of the conference that will be held with Sri Lanka's creditors. We have already begun preliminary discussions with China. We expect to resume discussions with China after the National Congress of the Chinese Communist Party concludes. Another positive sign for the country is Japan's willingness to act as an intermediary during the discussions with China. During my short interaction with Indian Prime Minister Modi in Japan, I informed him that I will visit Delhi to discuss the current situation of Sri Lanka. We will be able to get IMF approval after we come to an agreement with the creditor nations and private lenders. The ADB has expressed their willingness to provide Sri Lanka with a loan of $500 million. We will be able to get bridging finance from the World Bank, ADB and other financial institutions after we get the approval from the IMF. We hope to get $1 to $2 billion as bridging financing. Through these plans, we are able to restore stability and strengthen the rupee by the end of next year. I think we will be able to show the results of our plans by mid next year. We have begun restructuring the debt of the state-owned enterprises, which remains a burden to the economy. Due to the quick measures we took earlier this year, the yellow season has produced a yield exceeding our expectations. All measures have been taken to provide fertilizer and seeds required for the next harvest season. We expect to strengthen the country's foreign reserves after getting funds from the ADB. We expect to increase the country's reserves by 2 to 3 billion rupees by reducing the state-owned enterprise debt burden. We have also decided to allocate the compensation received for the Express Pearl vessel to the central bank's reserves. In order to maintain free education and free health service at a good level, the government's tax income needs to be at least 18% of the country's GDP. We are taking these measures so that we can restructure our debt, get IMF approval, get funds from the World Bank, the ADB, bridging finance and funds from other nations in the next few months. I took this path knowing the risks, especially at a time when the opposition, other parties and no other leader stepped in to take up the task. I know that a majority of people in the country support the measures that we have taken. Those days, certain political parties used to say that a man who is in his final hours should not be given water to save the life. Instead, they preach to carry the dead body around the country. Some groups are trying to adopt that policy in today's context. They are waiting until the economy takes its final hit instead of saving it. They think that if the economy crashes and people die in hunger, they will be able to secure power over those dead bodies. I would like to point out that such attempts have never succeeded in the history of the world. Even if anyone does manage to secure such power, that will end in a more tragic manner. People don't need to wait for days in fuel or gas queues. They run power cuts of up to 10 to 12 hours. Schools and universities have resumed. People engaged in every sector of the economy feel that the country is returning to normalcy. Therefore, I ask all of you to forget past rivalries and to join us on this path.
ඒ නිසා මම නැවතත් ඔබෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ පැරණි කෝන්තර අමතක කර මේ ගමනට එක්වෙන ලෙසයි.